Hey guys, welcome to session 3 of Linux System Administration Intermediate Level. As always, I am your instructor, Kevin Downs. Today, we're going to be going over system backups. In our last session, we spent a lot of time on shell script fundamentals, bash shell syntax overview, and shell script examples. Okay, we spent a lot of time on that, kind of going over some examples there. Today, we're going to be going over backup concepts and strategies, user backups with the tar command, system backup options, and the xfs dump and xfs restore commands. Okay. First, let's talk about backup concepts and strategies. A system backup is the process of backing up the operating systems, files, and system-specific useful essential data. So a backup is a process in which the state, file, and data of a computer system are duplicated to be used as a backup or data substitute when the primary system data is corrupted, deleted, or lost. There's two methods of backing up large amounts of data. We have the complete system backup, or we have an incremental backup. So to understand these two types of backups and which one is right for a system or site, it is important to have an understanding of file system structure and data placement. After you've decided on a strategy for data placement, you can develop a backup strategy for the data. Okay. So guys, in this first method here, we're backing up the whole system at one time. We tell it back up and we let it go. And this is going to take a really long time to do, guys. If you're backing up an entire system, that is a lot of data to back up at one time. So this other method here, just as it says, is an incremental backup. It'll back up one part, and then it'll back up a second part, yada yada, until it completely backups the whole system. So this is useful, guys, because then if we need to do something in between backups, we can pick it back up where we left off, and we can do some work in between these backups. That way we're not slowing down the system too much, okay? Or maybe we don't want to back up a whole part of the system. Maybe we just want to back up a specific part. So that's where this one really comes in handy here. So right now we're going to talk about the complete backup. We're going to show you the steps. However, I'm not going to demo these, okay? For a couple of reasons, guys. One, a few of these steps require things that we're not going to have. And two, you can do a lot of damage to your system if you're not entirely sure what you're doing with some of these things, okay? So we're just going to go through how to do it, okay? And then if you feel like you want to try it, what I would do is I would create another virtual machine on your virtual box, a separate one, try it on there, and that way if something goes wrong, you still have your other machine you can go back to, and you can just delete the one that you messed up, okay? So first step here for doing a complete backup is to run the rsync command to back up the files, okay? Now that the files have been backed up, we want to go ahead and compress them. You can do that using gzip or tar. And here it was done using tar. So we can copy that tar file to either your desktop or another server. Okay. And then you're going to download the CentOS 7 Live CD and create a bootable USB if you're intending to restore to a physical host. Okay. So this would be for an actual server, a physical host. So not a virtual box or anything from VMware or anything like that. An actual physical server. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and assume that the new disk to where we're restoring is not partitioned, in which case you're going to have to manually set that up. Okay, so you would create the file system, so you configure LVM, so things like boot, swap, things like that, root, and then you would have to mount the root partition. Then you would mount the required folders and change root into /mount. And you would install grub, which again, guys, is a grand unified bootloader. That's how Linux boots up. Then you're going to update the FS tab with the File Systems tab. Remember that? You're going to have to change the UID for the partition since we now have a different one that we're going to be using. And you're going to have to regenerate the grub config file. After you're done with that, you can exit, change root, and unmount the folders. And your network interface is probably going to get renamed as the MAC address is going to be different. Okay, guys? So that's how you would do a complete backup of your system. If you feel like trying that, go ahead and create a different machine and go through those steps. But again, there are some things that may mess up your system if you don't do it correctly. So that's why we're creating a different machine, just in case something goes wrong. You can always go back to your other one and have a clean working one.